Yeah, there we go. Okay. Can y'all hear us? All good? Let's see what people are saying. Misky, what do you mean get a job? This is my job. Also, no, I'm not late. I'm on time. I said 12. It's 12 now. Actually, I think I actually said later than 12. What did I say? Yeah, going 11:15. So technically, I'm 3 minutes early. 2 now, but
Gamers cancel error.
anyways, let's see what people are saying in chat. Hello, everybody. Oh, well, there's the... I guess I haven't fixed the layout on the episode number. Let me just go pop. So what happens when you get distracted by pizza and working on another video? 2 videos, technically. I'm 1 minute late in your time zone. How does that work? I'm pretty sure time zones don't go by, like, minutes. Am I wrong in saying that? Like, I'm pretty sure time zones aren't, like, minutes off. But, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how time zones work. I probably don't know how time zones work. It's fine, though. I don't know how time zones work. Anyways.
No, you don't.
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I am tired as hell. I have been staying up way too late working on videos. My mental health is on the decline, but you know what isn't? The videos. The amount of videos that you're getting is not on the decline. You're still getting 3 a week, baby. It was 4, but most of you guys didn't really give a shit about Embers, and it was a lot of extra effort for not a lot of return. So, 3 videos a week. You're getting 3 videos a week from me, which is too much shit. Raven, for 1 month, can we switch schedules? Can you upload 3 videos a week?
Fucking hell, I would die.
Can you please upload 3 videos a week?
I could do it for 1 week. How about that?
Okay. Yo, Dunflame, your exam's over? That's good. See, like, we had my midterms for college, like, 2 weeks ago. Like, my spring break was not this previous week, but the week before. So 2 weeks ago was where we had our midterms. So I've been pretty much clear of that for, like, a couple weeks. But if I'm being honest, I right now have not really given a shit too much about my assignments in the way I probably should. I'm still doing them. I just would much rather be doing this, you know? Oh, St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Shit, I gotta wear green then. Anyways, welcome to the stream. This is episode 44 of the new Egoist podcast. I just realized I'm probably lagging a little bit. It's whatever. We're gonna be going over chapter 296 in this stream. And you know, I have a couple of extra things I want to talk to Raven about as well. Get your guys' opinion on what is wrong with my computer right now? Stop loading, you dumb. There we go. I don't think my thing can handle all this crap, but it's fine. Completely fuck. Now you gotta suck in my head, Raven. What the fuck? Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna be going over chapter 296, leaks in today's stream. Did we cover episode 9? I think we did last stream, right?
We didn't, because by that point we already hit an hour.
Okay. Well, it's too late. I'm too lazy to cover it.
Anyway. we can cover it very briefly.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happened. What happened?
We got more Ryo and Shido and Kunigami.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Anyway,
I feel like we mentioned it a little bit, right? I feel like we mentioned it a
little bit. Not at all.
You sure? I feel like I mentioned talking about...
Bro, you have not slept. I'm not going to rely on your memory.
Shut up. Alright, Yeah, the yawning continues. The yawning doesn't stop. It's here. But yeah, so let's just go through the leaks real quick. We'll go through the chapter. Um, so I'm just gonna go through like the transcript of what the chapter says since we don't have high quality scans. I have a couple, but I'm too lazy to pull them up because they're not on Ragnarok, and this makes it easy to have them all in one place. Um, the chapter begins with the Ubers team reacting to Izugi's winning bid value. The opening tagline of the chapter says, Italy, who already finished their matches, admires Izugi at number 1. We get reaction from Aiku and Sendo about Izugi's performance and bid value as Bado himself comments on the topic. He says, that's right, you donkey, that's the number 1 who I'm chasing after. We cut to Izugi, who is basking in the glory of his number 1 value as the whole world is shocked at, his value. Izugi says, this feels too damn good. I endured all that pain in training. I adapted to every change on the field. I crushed everyone with pure, cold, calculated logic. This pleasure, it belongs to me and me alone. This feeling is my hunger for soccer. I'm certain that it reaches the entire world. Everyone can feel it too. This is my true originality. We see Izugi reflecting on every key player in this game as the puzzle pieces begin to circle around him. We then get a close-up on Izugi as he grabs his face and hair as his eyes begin to shine with his ego. I can feel my brain boiling over. He's turning into a ghoul. He's turning into a ghoul.
What's the Tokyo Ghoul theme song or intro?
Fuck, I can't remember it. I'm pretty sure that's not it, but thank you, Raven.
I just thought of a random intro and I was like, maybe this is it.
Yeah. He reflects on all of his past victories. The best version of myself from back then is upgrading. The title of the best in the world lies at the end of this ego, and I can just about taste it. I need more. Come on, let my rationality crush you all. We cut back to the Manshan City versus Barcha match where Bachida has taken possession of the ball and begins to dribble towards Agi as both Ryo and Nagi attempt to back him up. Bachida says, let's go. It's time for the monster to become the center of the world. Agi, Ryo, and Nagi all attempt to try and link up to try and pincer Bachida. However, he manages to break past them with his monster tricks. Agi is shocked. A lift straight from a roulette spin? Bachida says, this monster has become the god of soccer, as he takes a shot on the net, scoring the first goal for FC Barcha. This goal sparked the induction of the star change system, bringing Lavinho and Chris Prince onto the pitch as the game restarts. And yes, Raven, you've won. I'm not calling him that anymore. The joke has become too dry, and I'm honestly forgetting to say it. That's what I'm talking about, Monster. It seems to...
Bro, Atoya?
Okay, yeah. Just say Atoya. What's your point? You're gonna continue your point?
No. I was just gonna make an Atoya joke. Because you hated him so much, but now his accolades are proving to be.
Again, I don't mind Atoya. I'm just checking people when they say they're doing better than they are.
Bro,
I'll acknowledge when they do good.
He loves Atoya, but he keeps pretending like he hates the dude, like he wants him to die.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, Lavinho says, that's what I'm talking about, Monster. This seems super fun, so I'm coming on. And Chris Prince says, okay then, Lavi, it's time for the Masters to run the show. As this happens, Nagi reflects on the current circumstances. The situation on the field is rewriting itself. The play restarts and Agi tries to give some advice to Nagi. Focus, Seishiro. Whether you want to make plays for yourself or for the team, you can't go about it the way you have. These kinds of half measures are going to ruin you. Ryo tells Agi to back off and let them do their thing as Nagi begins a small monologue. No matter what I've tried, I still can't manage to do anything of worth. If I can just get an assist, that'll increase my value. I'll become active in this play. I want to survive this challenge with Ryo. Nagi sends a direct pass back to Ryo with a quick 1-2 link-up. However, Atoya slides in to steal the pass to Ryo. I've seen this kind of play more than I have my own parents' face, you buddies. You can't expect me to fall for it every time. This shocked Ryo, who realized that Otoya was hiding in his blind spot, waiting to steal the pass. Nagi begins another monologue in relation to the current play. I know this feeling. At this point of the game, Otoya and Bachira are fired up. Lavinho links up with Bachira and Otoya, with quick passes being exchanged, where Otoya even manages to slip away from the mark of Chris Prince. A final pass from Bachira from the wing flies towards Otoya, where we see him use Chris as a crutch to take a shot on the net. This led to FC Barca taking the lead with a 2-1 score, with Bachira and Otoya celebrating. Nagi continues his monologue. That fire, I know that feeling. It's the feeling of being the center of the universe. We see Chigiri comment on the current play as a Manchan defender stresses over them being 1 goal away from losing. I've felt this feeling of heat before, so I know better than anyone that only those who have that fire can compete on the world stage. But what can I do to get fired up? What exactly is this new version of myself? Do I even believe that I can become the best anymore? As Nagi thinks about his ego, Ryo comes over with thoughts on his thoughts on the situation. Looks like our plan of working for the team doesn't work as well as we thought it would. Seems like we're in some big trouble now. If this is really the end, then let's do something exciting. Nagi remembers his comments to Ryo when he asked him for his help. If we manage to score a goal now and turn this game around, we will become the center of the universe. I mean, the simple reason of getting fired up is more than enough for you, isn't that right, my genius? Nagi comments on Ryo's growth. You've become so strong. On the final page of the chapter, Ryo sends a last proposal to Nagi. If it's to become the best in the world alongside you, I'll turn into any goddamn color that I want to. Nagi sends a final comment. You've become so strong and yet so dazzling. In the final blurb of the chapter, it says, they overcame these hurdles because they were together. Ryo's dream continues to shine on Nagi, to be continued into the future. So, what are your thoughts?
The overarching thing, right?
Oh, wait, hold on. We got some donations? Oh, shit.
Yeah, we got a
Mitsuki.
donation.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you for this. You didn't have to donate. Let me add you right now. Hold up. Let me add you to... Yeah, by the way, anyone who donates gets added to the BLUELOCK New World movie credits. So when the movie gets released, everyone who donated from the announcement of the BLUELOCK New World movie to when it releases is getting added in the credits of the movie as a contributor to the project. So if you want your name mentioned in the credits of the movie, even like a $2 donation gets you added in the credits. So it doesn't even have to be a lot, and it's a one-time thing. You do it once, you're there permanently. It's not like oh, you have to continuously do it. It just goes to show your support for the channel and also helps the team with funding and such. So if you want to be mentioned in the movie for the credits, literally a $2 donation is more than enough to help. That's also why I'm grinding out videos, 3 videos a week, because more money we get in, more money for the project. I think we're sitting at about $1,000 right now in terms of what I got, maybe a little more. Okay, thank you, Mitsuki. Thank you for the insult. No, I appreciate the extra donation. But yeah, this is technically my job. I get like my college is paid for, my housing is paid for, my food is paid for, all by my college returns and scholarships that I earn myself because I'm smart, despite what you may think. I'm actually pretty smart when it comes to school. So this is all paid for, and then YouTube gives me about like $1,400 a month, give or take.
He's got no street smarts, guys. He's got no street smarts.
No, I have absolutely none. And then I'm funding the movie too, so this is more than enough to live off of. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for the donations. Why can't it be more like him? Yeah, you're so right. I should totally be more like him. But yeah, so in regards to the chapter, there's a lot of stuff that really like stuck out to me. Like the first thing I want to point out is mostly from like Ryo and Nagi's like descriptions. Like Ryo, I really love seeing Ryo's growth here. Like the fact that before, when we first met him, whenever they were faced with a very, very intense situation, and now when he's like when he was faced with those situations, he was always panicking and stressing out and such. Um, Now he's going to this point where he's put into a very like bad situation. He's confident, like he's not worried at all. I think that's pretty cool. You know? What do you think?
Mm. Of course, the thing is with this, we need to know what in particular would get Nagi fired up. Of course, the general aspect of it is working with Ryo, overcoming the odds. But realistically, they say like overcoming the odds, like they've never been, they've always been against the odds, and whenever they've been against the odds, they've won.
Yeah.
They've never won. They've never won against the odds together ever. Like not
Yo,
with them
Mitsuki,
as
thanks for the donations, man.
same
Sorry, Mitsuki just keeps sending in $2 donations.
You
You sent in like what, $6? I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Um, I think like one of the situations that like I've realized with this is that when it comes to like Ryo and Nagi, I think what gets him fired up is really just like playing. What do you mean by chat screen? This thing, like the chat box? I have no idea how I'm supposed to fix that. Let me see if there's settings. Chat delay. There's no chat delay. What are you wanting me to? Whatever. I have no idea what you're like asking me to fix for it because it's not like because maybe it goes away too quickly. I can try and see if the chat goes away. Let's see. Chat delay. We'll just turn up that to like 200. Let's see if this does it. Oh, maybe I gotta turn it down. There we go. I don't know. I did something to it. Oh, that's way too fast. Anyways, like I think what is very interesting about like Ryo and Nagi is that their whole thing is just playing together. You know,
yeah.
like being together and playing. And I think they need to realize that it doesn't matter too much if they're whether or not that they're doing good. It's just them being together is what really makes them shine the best, or working together for the purpose of helping each other. You know,
Would the further motivation once they've realized the matured situations that they don't even have to play at the same time on the same field together, because
yeah,
there's definitely going to be a situation during the U20 World Cup arc that Nagi and Ryo are not going to be on the pitch at the same time.
yeah.
So in that case, there has to be a level of maturity that's built up to where that they're not too codependent on each other, that they can make use of other allies around them in order to produce results. Which is why I do think like Nagi and Ryo should, for like their last goal or maybe this upcoming goal, start branching out a bit more. Like Ryo already passed the Chigiri, so why not get Nagi working more closely with Agi or Chris Prince?
Maybe. I don't think they'll work with Agi. I really think that Agi, honestly, after this point, I think Agi is going to be a very irrelevant character. Like, I don't see him coming back or having any significant role to this. I do think, like, them switching the dynamic now of Ryo asking Nagi for help is going to lead to Ryo scoring a super goal with a Nagi assist. And I think it's very, like, justified in assuming this because switching up the dynamic like this would be a very interesting change because you're having Nagi go from someone who didn't really care to assisting Ryo and realizing, oh, I don't need to score goals to feel good. I just need to play. And then and then by scoring a goal, because he now realizes he doesn't need to score it, but if he can, he's gonna do it because he just loves to play. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, Dumbflame, to answer your question, the reason I'm not doing the discussion stage is because it would bring more people on that Discord to the discussion stage rather than the live stream itself. And I'll probably do it for tomorrow because I don't really care about tomorrow's stream. Which, by the way, special thing for tomorrow's stream, I'm going to be doing a reaction thing where I'm reacting to your guys' like the worst blue lock takes you've heard on social media. So what I want you guys to do is go to my TikTok, which is the same handle as my YouTube, and I want you to like either tag me or send me videos like send me a DM of videos that you want me to react to on stream, and I'll react to them, and then I can turn these streams into videos for you guys that are more condensed and easier. It also take a little bit of weight off my shoulders when it comes to pushing out content, because you're still getting more content, but it's a lot easier than having to create whole new videos off the rip. Plus it's another stream for you guys, so I think it'd be more fun. Like, we'll react to Raven, Hiryo, Anamasu, fucking Natsu, maybe horrible takes that we find on the internet, good takes, reviews, thoughts, theories, stuff like that. So if you guys want to have a chance to have the videos you want reviewed on stream, send them to me through I don't know if you guys can see it because, you know, brightness is bad, but yeah, if you send it to my handle on TikTok, you can request it, just send me a DM or at me, and then boom, we're gonna, you know, have we'll have a nice fun stream. I gotta pull my thing up real quick. But yeah, Raven, do you have any outstanding thoughts for this chapter?
I want to see definitely, like, you may say that it's not possible. You may say like Argy's now a relevant character, but because I like Argy so much, I want to see him have an impact on Reo and Nagi in the long term.
Oh, I agree. Maybe, I would love that.
Maybe, like, of course, Argy hasn't been incorrect with the fact that he states that Nagi and Reo's that they're too codependent, right? Mm-hmm. They just gotta realize, like, playing for each other whilst both of them aren't even on the same pitch or on the field at the same time is enough as of a motivation for them to continue to strive to get better, because their ultimate goal is to be Nagi to become the best player in the world, whilst Reo like follows behind.
Yeah.
So that's their ultimate goal, but they gotta realize, like, to make that happen, sometimes you have to make the sacrifice of not being on the pitch at the same time, and it doesn't take you both being on the pitch in order to accomplish that. You gotta branch out in order to, you know, wake up and actually get jobs done. Using other people is kind of how development works. And if Nagi didn't choose Isagi and then proceeded to use Isagi in his own way, he wouldn't have improved during the second selection.
No. Like,
but,
I think so. Like, I do think you have a good. I think you have a good point. Honestly, I do agree with your point. I do think that Reo goal incoming. I think that's very prominent in the next chapter.
I mean, I predicted this already. Like, I predicted Chigiri, Reo, and Nagi would get the goal. I said Chigiri would get the first goal. Reo would get a goal via a Nagi assist, and then Nagi will score a final goal, in which gets him his original 88 million bid. I feel like that seems possible.
Yeah, I think so as well. Not the bid part, but I can
understand why people would say, like, but I say 88 million at least, but 88 million also kind of rounds up really well if you think about it, because you gotta think, like, has Nagi actually, like, improved during this? No, he would only show to clubs that he's a mildly inconsistent player, so he wouldn't be reliable to put a big bid on, and, you know, to show his value. But what would be necessary is that Nagi needs to realize that his development has stayed stagnant due to his own shortcomings, his own sort of
mentality.
Yeah, his mentality, his own arrogance and ignorance. It literally has to come full circle to where Nagi looks at Isagi at the top of the board and is like, "Wow, he's worked hard to get where he was. He might have been behind me, but he skyrocketed ahead. Meanwhile, I've stayed stagnant because of my own hubris."
Yeah. Just quick. I want to do a quick transition really quickly. To his comment in chat from random guy. He says Bachira is not a striker. What is your thought on that, Raven?
But Butcher can be a striker. I mean, it's definitely like would he fit centre forward specifically? No, not really. I would think a wing works best for him.
I agree with you. Or offensive midfielder, but I feel like winger works best.
Yeah, he has. I feel like in any point, like he can be mid winger or forward winger.
Yeah, like
it doesn't matter which side, but of course, if you have Chigiri on the team, then Chigiri would preferably be on the left side.
Yeah. The thing is, when you want to say that Bachira's not a striker, what do you consider to not be a striker? Because striker isn't a position; it's a role. Like a striker's job is to score goals, but any player on the offensive line has the capability to score goals. Like, for example, Bada was playing as a right winger in the U20 game, but he scored a goal, and therefore he was playing as a striker, as a goal scorer.
We had this discussion in DMs.
Yeah, we had this discussion. But like anyone who scores goals or goes out with the purpose of scoring goals is a striker.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
How it is.
Even if you were on the defensive line, if your purpose, like this is the whole thing of like Blue Lock is a team made up of strikers. All of them are strikers because all of them would strive and want to be capable of getting the goal, and will choose to opt for that instead of purely sticking to their position. So whenever an opportunity arises for them, they'll go for the goal. It's why characters like Yukimiya, who was subbed on as a defensive,
side back or a fullback.
Yeah, he was basically defensive side back, right? He was subbed on for that, but he was charging up the field. He wanted that goal because he is a striker, but so being a striker doesn't mean that you have to be put on the centre forward position. Butcher getting a goal, striving for a goal, means that he is a striker. He may
by
not
definition.
he may not be suited for a centre forward position, which is the arguably the most optimal striking position for most players, but he's still striving for the goal, which does make him a striker.
Yeah,
at least from a mentality standpoint, because at the same time, like you may not have the skills necessary, but it all comes down to mentality. If you want that goal, you will strive to get it, and that's what makes you a striker.
I think it also comes down to like look at it like this, right? For like Kaiser at the end of Manshine, he literally told Isagi, "Let's compete as strikers," right?
Yeah.
But he's implying let's compete by scoring goals.
Yeah.
So he's not saying let's compete as center forwards. He's saying let's compete as goal scorers because that's what a striker is. A striker is a goal scorer. So
yeah, because Isagi's still on the midfield, right? And Kaiser directly challenges him, saying like, "All right, whoever scores the most goals will win." Right? Yeah. He did say that, but he also said, we shall challenge each other as strikers." So yeah, it does imply getting goals, striving for the goal. That's what it means to be a striker.
Yeah, like Ness and Isagi share the same position as an offensive midfielder, right? But Ness isn't a striker because he isn't actively pursuing goal scoring. Like Raichi and Kunigami, they were in the defensive midfielder position, right? Kunigami wasn't before. He was out scoring goals. He wasn't playing trying to score goals in the defensive position. But Yukimiya and Corona, Yukimiya is a striker, Corona's not, despite them sharing the position because it's the intent behind their role on the field.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter your position. Aiku, for example, in the U20 game, he acted as a striker for a small moment when he came from the defensive line with the intent to score a goal.
Yeah.
At that point, because he even says, I used to be a former striker, implying that at this point he's playing as a striker. His role and mindset there was to perform a play that a striker would as well. So people need to stop using striker as a position. Like, oh, I want to have. Some people say, oh, I want to have Shido or Baro as my striker.
Yeah,
cool, but that's not a position. That's a role. You know.
I'll double down on that. Basically, learn the actual football positions.
Yeah.
Learn them. You don't be ashamed and don't back chat. Right, just keep to yourself and just look them up. We're not trying to fucking mansplain it to you. We want you to know more about this because it's important. Because you need to know the difference. Striker's a mentality, while centre forward and winger are positions.
Yeah, on the field.
On the forward line.
Yeah.
There's a difference. They may be classified as striking positions, but that's the thing. They're positions. Striker is a mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone have any more takes they want to throw out here for us to comment on? I do also want to mention, Atoya has the same goal assist average as Kaiser, which is kind of weird.
Atoya has 2 goals, right?
Yeah, but also 2 assists.
Yeah, no, but I'm also baffled by Atoya having 2 goals.
He's just scored 1 here, and then he scored another one in PXG thanks to a similar
situation. I know how he got them. I'm baffled by it, though, because...
I'm not too much. Like, if you have the master striker working with you, and it just so happens that you got the ball last, it's not outrageous for him to score the goal.
No, it's just the blind spot weapon seems so pointless if Isagi has it, and Isagi is able to process it so much better.
Yeah. Well, Atoya does it differently. Atoya doesn't put in the blind spots of players. He sits in the blind spots of the entire field. Like, Atoya knows where nobody is looking, and he actively stays there. And then he maneuvers into people's blind spots. So he's basically connecting lines from blind spots on the pitch to blind spots of players, which, unless you're, like, constantly aware of him, like, constantly making sure you know where he is, he's really hard to lose track of. But that's his only strength. If you can keep an eye on him, he's not that good.
Yeah,
which is why he can break past Chris Prince. Like, Chris Prince couldn't see him, which is why. But that doesn't make sense either. Like, Chris Prince should have been able to keep up with him, even if he couldn't see him for a moment. He caught up with Kaiser. Like,
a more observant player would be able to know, because what I see it as is like the only really observant player on that field would be Ryo by definition due to metavision. But of course, in this match, I don't think Ryo's activated metavision once. So,
not in this game. He hasn't activated it since Manshine, which again, I think that's another reason why Anagi assist and Ryo goal are gonna be important. I think he will reawaken metavision.
Like, yeah, because I feel as if, though, in a weird way, he got a copy variant, which is odd because copying metavision seems kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But what I would believe is that he was trying to mimic Isagi's way of play, but of course to 99%. But now he has to hone it to his own element, his own style, because otherwise he won't be able to harness it. Yeah, because he has no base reference of Isagi to copy off of now.
It makes me wonder, does every metavision user require spatial awareness? Because I'm not certain that, like, Hiyori and Nico, for example, not Nico has, but Hiyori and Ryo, for example, I don't think they've ever been stated to have spatial awareness. Hold up. Yo, what's up, Alfredo? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I appreciate that so much, man.
Thank you, man.
You're getting added to the Blue Lock New World movie, bro. Thank you so much. Credits. Alfredo Gill, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate this. And our team does as well. The more money that comes in, the more money we can support our team with. Once Raven finishes his point, I want to talk to you guys about some news from that, because I do want to reveal some stuff. I want to be open about the production of the film and such. So, Raven, you finish your point, and I'll talk about some stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up, like, Harasu, the most recent Metavision user. He doesn't have any confirmed spatial awareness. His main skill was being able to ball control and maneuver around players and using the lengths of his arms.
Yeah. Like, he was analytical, but I don't know if, like, being analytical really takes into account metavision.
I mean, yeah, I believe metavision is just overall. It doesn't require spatial awareness, but it requires just general understanding of positions of the field and what roles that they play.
Yeah.
But and I feel like this is something you talked about earlier with Kaiser. I feel like all blue lockers are going to be more naturally prone to having better metavision because normal players are more prone to understanding normal positions in football, but blue lock players are prone to understand that every player could be a striker.
Yeah.
So they have much more possibilities ingrained in them from the core roots. Whilst
Exactly.
Kaiser's metavision was outclassed by Isagi's because Isagi has the sort of sight in which to visualize someone who would be unlikely to score a goal.
Yeah. There was alright, so the take that Alfredo said that he mentioned for his take, because I want to just, mention it here. He says his hot take is that in your team formation, I would put Sendo over Corona. Sendo can go up and play as a post player or a secondary striker, but he can also play as a defender in the right back since he's known for his clutch saves. I don't necessarily disagree with this. I think both players can be interchanged.
Yeah, I think it depends on the other players on the pitch rather than just Corona's completely subbed off for Sendo.
Yeah.
Because if Isagi's on the field, he will benefit much more with Corona in comparison to Sendo.
Yeah. I feel like Sendo has more uses, but I feel like Corona's more useful.
Yeah, so there is a versatile moveset for Sendo because he can play as defense and striker or forward positions.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we also need to consider the fact that Corona would open up more pathways to get towards the goal, while Sendo's not really necessarily known for any sort of passing methods. Unless you count the passes with Shido's. But
yeah, and with Ubers, he's good at relaying quick 1-2s. But that's about all we know him to do.
Yeah.
But the main issue I see arise is that Corona's only role is a post player, but his weapons and skills make him a really good post player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sendo has more usage, right? He can do more things, but he can't do those things as well as Corona can be a post player. He's not as good of a post player as Corona is, and he's not as insane on offense. So you're trading one really good position for two average, for someone who can play multiple positions very averagely.
Yeah.
And I think the issue people like to bring up is Corona having stamina issues, but you gotta remember that Corona, without metavision or any kind of thing, is keeping up with Isagi's thought process on pure physical abilities alone. He has no idea what Isagi's doing, and he's keeping up with Isagi's thought process on pure speed and stamina, which is really hard to do.
That speaks relative to Chigiri. Chigiri can do that, but Chigiri has a bigger stamina capacity because he's been conditioned in Manshine to be that way.
But even then, I don't know, Chigiri, I think, wouldn't be able to do what Corona can do specifically as long.
The fast short turns is specific because it's more akin to actual assisting. So he's able to build up plays around Metavision. While for Chigiri, he builds up his own plays because his weapon relies on going forward to towards the wing position to score.
And again, Chigiri's entire weapon is not cuts. Corona's really good at making cuts and does them very fast. Chigiri is not good for cuts. The only reason his mock cut-in is good is because he does it at a very last second. His entire thing is about a full speed sprint, right? And then at the last second, he does a cut-in. So he'll stop his acceleration and then accelerate in a different direction. So he's not like using cuts as insanely often as you think. He's essentially like he's essentially leaning his body to turn while
Yeah.
running in a straight line. But with the mock cut-ins that Corona does, he's fully like angle. He's doing a sharp cut at max speed, and rotating around Isagi doing that is really fucking hard to do. Especially since in Manshine he did it for the whole game. In Ubers he only did it for maybe half of it, but the fact that he's still keeping up with Isagi's movements without Metavision is insane. If you put Sendo in that position, he's not keeping up with Isagi. Like,
yeah,
he's not.
I'll put my like nerd badge on for this explanation. There is a comparator that I could use here. The stopping time of Kurona and Chigiri is actually akin to how Mario stops in the old games in comparison to the new games. In the old games, Mario, when you turn him into a different direction instantaneously, instead of just, slightly adjusting, Mario would instantly turn that direction. That's the equivalent of Kurona. Whilst in the new games, to be more realistic with momentum, he kind of slides across the floor before turning back to slow down his momentum and then turn. That's what Chigiri does.
Yeah, it's like running on grass versus running on ice in Minecraft.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you can make a real cut, and then sometimes you have to like have the momentum pull you a little bit. But I would still take Corona. I think Corona's speed and reactions on defense is still something that surpasses what Sendo can do. Like, Sendo just appears and does one clutch save towards the goal box, but in terms of like pressuring someone, Sendo can't really do that. Sendo can really only do a clutch save if there's no one, if it's like a long shot. Like, Bachata's chip was something that he just chipped up and it was slowly moving towards the net with no one there. Hiyori's shot was a shot towards the net, but it was a very long shot, so we had a lot of time to react. Like, I would rather have Corona because of his offensive post plays and link ups, but also his insane quickness. Like, he's a 95 in speed. Like, that's faster than Kaiser. That's like a couple points. That's like what, 3 points slower than Chigiri. Like, Corona in series is the second fastest stat wise character we know of.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely something that should be considered over Sendo, because Sendo's sure he can score goals, but does he have any insane scoring abilities? Like, why would you take Sendo to be a secondary post player or a secondary striker when I could have Corona who can assist my already prominent strikers better? That's just how I think of it. But I also had another take with Raven that I wanted to give my take on. I think Metavision works better with Kaiser than it does with Isagi.
I mean, I already talked about this. While BLUELOCK has the roots of being able to know the possibility of someone else that isn't in a centre forward positioning going towards the goal to score a goal. Having the mindset of a striker, whilst Kaiser is built traditionally in comparison. Because if you think about it, BLUELOCK faced off against a team that's more traditional, but they had the comeuppance through the BLUELOCK environment of being aware that everyone would go for the goal if given the opportunity.
Yeah. Let me explain, right? So Metavision works, and I'm talking strictly on offense. I think Metavision suits Kaiser for offense more than it does Isagi. With the Kaiser impact, it is an insanely, like, it is probably, I would argue it's the best shooting weapon in all of BLUELOCK, right? And we've seen from Metavision offensively that it not only lets you see the weakest points on the field in terms of like defense and interceptions, but it also lets you see the perfect spot to shoot from. And with the Kaiser impact, Kaiser has a lot more options for shooting than Isagi does. Like, Isagi has very certain conditions that need to be met for his direct shot to be as effective as it is. And I know that the twin gun volley has expanded his arsenal, but the conditions are still met, or are still needed. Isagi has a range. Kaiser's range is drastically larger because of how fast his shot is and how quickly he can fire his shot. So when it comes to Kaiser using Metavision on offense, viewing a weak spot on the field to shoot from, there is going to be a much more array of options for Kaiser to shoot from, given his much larger range, and because of that, his Metavision can see more of those more options and areas to shoot from at a larger range than Isagi's Metavision can. Which is why I believe that Kaiser's Metavision works better for him on offense than it does for Isagi. I think Isagi utilizes Metavision better than Kaiser, but I think Metavision is more suited for Kaiser on offense. Just given Kaiser's array of weapons.
That argument just comes down to the pairing. So we can instantly talk about the fact that like Kaiser Impact is just a better direct shot.
Yeah, it's the best shooting weapon it's just given what they have in their arsenal. Like, so the player with a better arsenal would utilize Metavision on offense better than a player with a worse arsenal.
So under that, yes, agree.
Like, give Chigiri Metavision, or give Bado Metavision, and they would utilize it better on offense than Isagi because the range and deadliness of their shooting styles is so much more drastic.
Yeah.
So any character with better weapons offensively and shooting weapons and a better range is going to utilize Metavision better because you have a much more array of area you can shoot from.
Yeah.
That's just what I think is how it works.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Of course, like Isagi's overall use is better.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, it's much more fitting for Kaiser because his shooting weapon is better. I agree. So it correlates way better.
That's my argument, is that it correlates better with Kaiser on offense than it does with Isagi, but Isagi has managed to utilize Metavision on offense better than Kaiser has.
I feel like Isagi's main goal was to actually get to Kaiser's point, but realizing that Kaiser has that sort of shooting weapon, it may prove to be very difficult. Yeah. Isagi ever like possibly doing a Kaiser Impact is probably the biggest next step, because we've already discussed that Kaiser Impact is a possible thing for people to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously you can't do it as good as Kaiser. But
not the leg swing speed, but the technique of it.
You could increase your leg swing speed by doing a certain certain style. It's just that if your frame and physique is not suited to do so, it's going to make you worse. So there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, but all I have to say is people who try to do the Kaiser's Impact, who are fitted to actually do it, all I'm saying is their kick speed or their swing kick speed won't be as fast as Kaiser's not doing the Kaiser Impact. So you may replicate the technique, but Kaiser's swinging leg motion is the key difference between him and other people who would attempt it.
Yeah, like, for example, right? Also, yeah, I am kind of looking at the TikTok chat here that I have here. It's just very hard because I see majority YouTube chat. I appreciate you guys for commenting here. I'll say this here, right? When it comes to like copying the Kaiser Impact, it really just comes down to the comment that Kunigami made to Isagi about teaching him to be ambidextrous, right?
Yeah.
If you try to train for something that your specs are not suited to, you're gonna ruin your already existing specs and style and make you an overall worse player.
Yeah.
But there are players who have overwhelming body dexterity and balance. So I can think of 2 characters right now who could do it. It obviously wouldn't be as good, but by replicating the style in the way that Kaiser does it,
I feel like we both know one guaranteed.
Yeah, Reo, obviously.
Yeah,
Reo is the king of body dexterity. And
who would be your second then?
Kiora.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Kiora's overwhelming. One of his core weapons is insane body balance. And I'm pretty sure when we saw him take his accelerating shot in episode Nagi, it was very similar to the Kaiser Impact in the way that his body was angled. Both of his feet were in the air when he took the shot. He was balancing himself against against Nagi and Bato. Like, it's very conditional for Kiora, but the fact that he has an accelerating shot, I definitely think could give him the edge to doing something similar. And plus, because he's smaller, if someone came over to try and pressure him and he just used them as a crutch, he's getting that additional height. So, while he is a grounder style of player, being in the air is not exactly a weakness if he could utilize it how we've seen him do it. So, this is going to be a theory video that you're going to see me talk about more on Wednesday because that's what I'm doing. I believe Ryo could copy the Kaiser impact, and that's what I think is going to happen. Ryo is going to perform something called the Chameleon Impact, right? Which I just think is the coolest fuck name, right? By replicating the Kaiser Impact style in which he performs the shooting style, and by awakening Metavision again, he's essentially taking 2 of the 4 requirements for the Kaiser Impact shooting formula. Obviously, the swing speed and Predator Eye are drastically better ways to improve the weapon. But if you can give Ryo an unmarked one-on-one situation with the goalkeeper, Metavision and the execution, like, Predator Eye isn't needed. If you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, no one around you, Ryo could copy the Kaiser Impact and be just as effective. All he needs to do is be in the air when he does it and leverage his entire body's dexterity into the shot. That's the only way he could do the Kaiser Impact to any significant degree. And I think it's definitely possible for him to do this because I feel like Ryo and Nagi could try and draw the opponent's defense towards Nagi. And I think with Chris Prince on the pitch now, it's definitely a bigger possibility because you have Chris Prince, the master striker, being a threat. You have Nagi and Ryo attempting to link up and use them as a decoy, along with Ryo's assistance to Chigiri, giving everyone the impression that he's now working with Chigiri. I think those are enough significant decoys to draw Ryo's the attention away from Ryo as a striker and allow him to score one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I think it's definitely possible. And I think that there's a lot of evidence to support him doing this. And I really want to know what your guys' thoughts are in regards to this. Raven, what do you think on just this theory that I'm concocting? Because I would break it down more in my video that I'm going to drop for Wednesday. But this is just what I think right now.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I think if he does score with the Kaiser Impact, I think he will definitely get at least 60 million. Not from the value, just overall. Like, his total value will be at least 60 million. And I think 60 million is good for Ryo.
Yeah, 60. I would say that.
Like, he's currently sitting at what? 34? So a 26 million increase for a Kaiser Impact copied goal and an assist. I don't think that's that insane.
Well, BRB real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, guys, start giving your thoughts to chat. Give it your takes. I'll debate them a little bit. I do have to dip slightly, so Raven will be here by himself for like a minute or two because I gotta go pick up some pizza. Because I'm getting it delivered to me thanks to my awesome girlfriend who decided to pick me up some pizza from my favorite pizza place. She's the best. I love her. So when she gets here, I'm gonna go pick up the pizza. But anyways, if you guys have some takes you want me to talk about, I will go through them now. We'll start with Kerbis, and I outright scoring with it now. Like, clearly, it wasn't his OG plan for the game, so it seems like he hasn't trained his physique for it. That's definitely true, but the Kaiser Impact as a shooting weapon needs to be a shot that's executed in midair. That way, Kaiser can leverage his entire body's physique into the shot, right? That's how it works. So, if Ryo does the same thing, whether his physique is the same or not, he's definitely built up the strength he has, and he's definitely built up strength, at least to copy Rain, right? And copy Rain's technical skills. So I think that if he can copy Rain's technical skills, it's close enough to copy the physical skills. In terms of physique-wise, it's relative to Rain, who is relative to Kaiser. So I think it's close enough. to do it. If Royal had to copy a shot, it would probably be a range shot. I don't think they would copy anything from the PXG game, so probably nothing like a crash shoot or anything that would involve like a destroyer mode crashing volley. But I feel like if it came down to a shot that he would copy from Rain, I feel like his most iconic shot's the Trivella, and I don't think he'd copy it again. Like, Raven, what do you think is Rain's most iconic shot? I would say it's the Trivella. Like, I can't think of another shot that's up prior to PXG because like Saya said that Royal would copy a range shot, and I'm thinking he wouldn't copy another Trivella because that would be I feel like it'd be overused. So what is a more iconic shot? Like,
I mean, like in terms of how he copied. Well, I wouldn't say any of his shots are necessarily like iconic under my own context, but I'm also appreciate his copy of Nagi's shot in the U20 game.
Well, I meant like for Rain. Like, does Rain have an iconic shot? I wouldn't say so. Like, I would say the Trivella is his most iconic shot. Like he has his he has his kick, he has like his kickoff goal. He has his corner kick shot. He has what is it? He has his luck goal shot. He has his his final curve, the beautiful arc curve. But I wouldn't consider those to be necessarily iconic. Like, the Trivella shot to me seems iconic because we've seen nobody hit a Trivella shot. We've seen characters hit curve shots, but we've never seen someone hit a Trivella shot before.
Yeah, I don't think anything under the context you've applied, right?
Yeah,
is really necessarily considered iconic besides this Trivella.
Would you say the blind shot? But even then, I feel like Ryo couldn't copy the blind shot because it's very hinting towards Predator Eye, and Predator Eye is something a genius, restrictive ego type could have. And I don't think Ryo could have that. If I were to replace Fukaku Gen with a player so in this situation, you're saying who would I replace Fukaku Gen with in the top 23? Are you assuming that the current top 23 are staying as is, so the top 23 are like no one new is getting a value? If that's the case, I would replace him with Kiora. I think it's pretty fair to say that.
I do think Kyora's going to make it anyway, so yeah. I would replace it with Nanase.
Yeah. I would say the Trivella is iconic for the anime. Like, what would you say in the anime is a more iconic shot from Rain that is more exclusive to Rain than anyone else? Like, what shot or goal would you say is exclusive to Rain that is better than anyone else? That hasn't been shown in PXG. That wasn't shown in PXG. Because, again, Manchan and PXG, their games are happening at the same time, apparently. Rain's first goal in the second selection is iconic as well. Yeah, but Ryo can't... Yeah, but this is something... But we're asking that Ryo would copy something from Rain. Like, if we're saying that Ryo's goal is something special, and isn't just the fact of, like, Ryo and Nagi working together, if it's not something similar to, like, Nagi's fired up goal in the episode Nagi thing, where it's just a shot on the net, where the context behind it is what's important rather than the goal itself, then I guess that's something Ryo could do. But if we're talking in the context of Ryo is copying someone's shot to make the shot itself very, very, like insane, what do you think is likely? I think a Kaiser impact copy, or like this, who said it up here? Kerbis, you said it, a Chris knuckleball shot. But I feel like the knuckleball shot is less likely because Yukimiya technically copied the knuckleball shot to create the sword screw. Although, Raven, hear me out on this. Hear me out on this, right? Now that Chris Prince is on the field, right? Scoring a copy of the Chris Prince knuckleball could be something funny, right? But because Yukimiya copied the knuckleball shot, Ryo had a first-person view of that shot because he was the only person who could read that shot happening and had Metavision active when he went to stop the shot. He was the first person directly close to the shot when he saw how it worked.
Or only gets results when copying Yukimiya.
Yeah. But I think it is possible. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, he has copied drastic drops before. He copied the original gyro shot. So, I think it could be interesting. But I do think Ryo is definitely closer or more likely to copy the Kaiser impact over anything. What do you think?
Yeah. I believe Ryo for this upcoming goal, right? In this match, I always thought like he would do a stage fake volley or some sort of replication of Nike shot. But then another popular thing I had in mind, of course, was the Kaiser's impact.
Could he do it though? Could he do the 2-stage? Like, we know he can copy Nagi to an extent, but the situation in which he copied Nagi was the ball was dropping. He slowed the ball's dropping, and then he just tapped it. Can he redirect the spin in the same way?
I would assume he uses someone else in order to actually pull it off. So he could use Nagi's own trap against him.
Do you think he could copy an array of blue lockers rather than the shot being the insane thing? That he's copying an array of blue lockers leading up to it? Like, who mentioned it here? I just saw it. Oh, Rodell copying Botto's chop feint. Do you think he could copy a bunch of blue lockers and like some of their techniques that are exclusive to their play style leading up to a goal, like copying Botto's chop feints?
So basically, what you're saying is, can he be Kisei?
Yeah. Well, the chop feint isn't something nobody could pull off. It's just something that Botto's good with because of how unpredictable he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would want him to go Kisei mode, where he just copies a bunch of techniques in a row to get past people.
Yeah. Nightwolf, your hot take is worth a conversation. Is what you think? Bachida is a better overall player than Shido. Shido's a better striker. I'm very certain that's not a hot take. Oh, hold up. I will be back. I'm gonna go grab some pizza. I will return quickly. Raven, entertain the stream with comments on the stuff.
I wish I could check chat. Hey guys, how we doing? I'm gonna try and open chat, see if anything's happening. Huri is a bum compared to my boy Bachida. Damn. Give me stuff related to me, man. I'm awesome. I'm just gonna read up chat and see. I think my hot take is worth a conversation. Bachida is a better overall player than Shido, but Shido is a better striker. Okay, but we've already had the discussion of like Bachida regarding how he would fit a good striking mentality and wanting to strive for goals. But yes, Shido is a much better performer within the penalty box than Bachida is. But Bachida has an overall skill set that is much better than Shido. His dribbling is just so unanimously good. Like, he get past so many people. I'm glad you're okay, Vortex. I'm great too. A copy of Noel Noah. Damn, imagine. I mean, didn't Noel Noah just do a bicycle kick on Lavinia's ass? It's crazy. Ubihiori is better than. Yeah, no, Ubihiori was busted. He came out of the fucking dark ages. He came out of the. I can't believe Ubihiori and compare it to PhD Hori. It's insane. It's insane. Being able to like completely just outmatch every player on Ubers when relatively no difficulty is insane. Do you think Nanase will survive or will he flop? I believe he will flop because I already said like Tokimitsu and Nanase will get out alongside with Igiguri because Igiguri's pretty much been already confirmed for that. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Nanase will provide much of a use now comparatively. I believe he didn't have the strive within himself, like his own individual inclusion, in order to stand out as a player in the long run. Matsuda, but give Shido a good midfielder. Yeah, I mean, that's dependent. Like, Shido won't always have a good midfielder, but Matsuda will always be a great dribbler. So Shido, depending on the midfielder, would be a great goal scorer, but Matsuda can be very reliable as an overall asset. I like the chat just going in on the discussions. I think Nanase and Karasu will live, so Rin and Shido get one play. No, I think Rin's own sort of backlash is going to be the downfall of him. His allies get eliminated, so Tokimitsu and Nanase will get eliminated. Whilst I do believe there is value in Zantetsu still being around. Like, you guys may not see it, but acceleration's a very useful asset to have, especially as a sub-in for a winger. Who do you think are the confirmed starters for the 20 arc? We don't know if Sai will come back. That's up in the air, so I will just not include him. So of course, Gargamar will be goalkeeper, of course, and I believe we'll have Rin and Isagi on the pitch. But my argument is that there's going to be two formations, one based around Isagi, one based around Ren, because they are the top performers of the NEL. So they'll have formations built around them, and then possibly a third formation built around both of them at the same time, competing for goals. Zantetsu, Chigiri, and Corona. Bro, I would love that. But Yukimiya in there as well. Yukimiya's, fast dribbler. He's a hyper aggressive dribbler. That would be sick. In my opinion, Hiyori has better passing and vision, which would make him a better player than Butcher. He has better pass. Yeah, Hiyori has better passing. Doesn't make him necessarily a better individual player. He works way better as a team player. Butcher works way better as an individual player because of his dribbling. Also, yeah, he does have a better shooting weapon. We've seen multiple times. Hiyori's one shot against Uber's failed. I do believe Butcher is a better player than Hiyori, but of course Hiyori was hard nerfed. If he continued his development from Uber's and on an upwards trajectory, he would be a much better player. That's it. But he got heavily nerfed. But it's to not disregard both of them. They're both really good players. Do you see Rin and Isagi working together? They would, but I wouldn't believe either one of them would give up the goal for each other. They would basically have the same mindset as they did in the U20 match, where they have to kind of feed off of each other, use each other in order to get to the best position possible for goals. I can see that as the best possibility. What hobbies do you have outside of YouTube? I have a full-time job. I collect Pokemon cards. A full-time job is not considered a hobby. Why am I mentioning that? I collect Pokemon cards for a living, partially, as my main hobby. But I kind of like do just relative gaming stuff. I'm going to be doing D&D soon with my mate hosting it, which will be really cool. So D&D is going to be hype. Anywho, Botcha's got psi level dribbling. All right. All right, mate. Lucario is the best Pokemon. He's a really good Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon is Scizor. Love Scizor. But I'm happy for both of us because we're going to get Mega Evolution cards coming back, and of course Scizor and Lucario already have Mega Evolutions, so we're going to get those guys back as cards. So big up to them.
I'm back. I have food.
Yo, here's food.
I'm gonna wait though to eat my pizza until after the stream. I'm gonna snack on some fries though. What's up, everybody?
Raven, what's your thoughts on Rin and Isagi typing as well? As Rin going to values. I explained my values in my latest video. Check that out if you haven't. But I basically said how the values of what value Isagi was given makes sense. But I believe Rin won by comparison to Isagi because of the clubs selected. And I feel like that's unanimous with me and Arrow's agreement. Like if Isagi went to Real, it would actually seem more fair.
Yeah, because like I'm also a little annoyed how it wasn't even acknowledged in this latest chapter. Like we got to Isagi just kind of fawned over his value again. I feel like they could have taken the time to have Isagi kind of realize who gave Rin the value.
Yeah. But I feel like that sets in stone that it's just the precedent. It's not exactly going to mean anything. It just means that he's number one.
Yeah.
So it's just the message behind it. And then I was talking about Pokemon. My favorite is Katana. Kartana. That's a cool Ultra Beast though. Bro, it could slice with anything.
It is a very cool Ultra Beast. It's supposed to be like an origami Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah, he origami Pokemon 1 inch slices through literally every material. Crazy.
Horrifying. Do I think, or I guess I'm chiming in him. Do you think Bachata should be above Shido in the rankings after this match? I don't think he will.
Yeah, it's a shame, but nah, that won't. One goal won't make up for it. Or he's also got an assist, but you know.
Honestly, I also didn't even believe that Bachata is gonna crack 100 million.
I believed it, just not like by much. I think he would either hit 100 mil or barely get above it.
Yeah,
I feel like he would be the final 100 mil player.
Yeah, I think Nagi's hitting 100 mil and Bachata is like 97.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for it would make sense for the context of, you know, the winner. So I don't blame you for that.
You know something? If this is true, like my prediction for my very first Manchan and Barcha video might be dead on. Right? Like
what was it?
So I said it was gonna start with Chiggity scoring the very first goal.
Yeah.
I then said Bachata and Atoya were gonna score a goal. So far, I'm 3 for 3.
So or you have so I assume you predicted Raya would score next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you have to rely on Raya getting the next goal, Nagi getting the final goal, and then get your bids correct.
Well, I don't care about the bid value. I'm just saying, like, I'm 3 for 3 in how they're in terms of what they're doing. Yeah, I would just want, if Ryo scores, cool. If he scores with the Kaiser Impact, I count that as a victory for me, because I specified. I said Nagi was going to score a goal, but I wasn't sure how he was going to score it. But I was confident in Ryo scoring the Kaiser Impact, so if he scores a goal, that's cool, but unless it's a Kaiser Impact, I'm not counting that as my prediction getting right. You know?
How can you not get 100 mil when you have 4 goals and 2 assists? Well, it depends because like there's multiple contexts behind how you get values. Usually, winning games is a big one.
Yeah. Like,
And I assume Bachara performed his goals in a very same mannerism.
yeah.
So he didn't really do anything different. He dribble past his opponents and score. So they find that impressive, but they don't find it new and innovative in comparison
You know,
because he's just doing the same thing.
I feel like very
Oh, he's sorry.
instinctual kind of
Whatever.
players seem to have a very high, a very fixed bar.
Yeah.
Like, Shido and Bachara, they're characters who seem to, like, not really develop much, like, in terms of their styles. Like, Bachara and Shido pretty much play the same way they do now as they did in the beginning. Bachara's dribbling leveled up, sure, but he is not doing anything very much so different. You know? And I know that might be weird to say, but, like, as a dribbler and then a passer, his goal, he's going to be hitting that bar of, like, his value is going to start, like, increasing less and less, you know? I feel like he's going to hit that bar earlier than someone like, Chigiri, Baro, Nagi, Isagi, Rin. Like, the bar for them is higher for when their value starts to decline less. So,
people are arguing about how many goals Bachara's gotten.
one in Barcha, one in Manchan. One Barcha, one against one in Barcha, one against Manchan, one against. Yeah, he's scored 4 goals. Barcha scored 4 goals.
Hasn't he scored for one goal in every match he's played?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are arguing about assists.
Assists, we don't know. We know he has one confirmed one. But
he has one confirmed assist. We can't say any more than that. But he has 4 goals. He scored 1 goal every match. You can check yourself.
Yeah. We know when Lavinho subbed on, Atoya scored, but we don't know if it was Bachara who assisted Atoya or if it was Lavinho.
He did not score in PXG. What do you mean, brother?
Bachara scored against. Bachara never assisted Lavinho in the match against Bastard, unless you're counting a kickoff. Yeah. Unless you're counting kickoff as
Nah, that doesn't count. That was a solo. No, that was a solo Lavinho play. It was too far. It was too far out. You know how in Rocket League, how you're timed to if you would get an assist or not.
I'm assuming the same thing.
Yeah, it applies to football. It's the multi-touch fallacy. If you get more than 2 touches, it doesn't count anymore. Yeah. Anywho, but yeah, he's scored 4 goals and got 1 assist. 1 assist from the latest game, and yeah, he scored 1 goal every match.
4 goals, at least 1 assist. That's what we know.
Yeah, he could have 2 assists, but it's been off screen. So yeah.
Yeah. Let me look up the dialogue. Maybe it was.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some context. Maybe he got Atoya an assist, like off screen.
I think Lavinho said that. I think he already said that when Lavinho subbed on, he assisted Bachara and Atoya.
Okay.
Here it says, Spain's master Lavinho joined the game, and both Atoya and Bachara managed to score. So it doesn't even mention. It just says when he came on, they scored.
Sick. Thanks.
Anyways, I want to talk about before the stream ends for the last topic. Thanks to Shadow, we got Julie and Loki and Noel Noah's expanded character profiles from the latest volume. So we got no stats, but we got their character profiles.
Okay.
So, for Loki's, his date of birth is June 9th. He's 70 years old. He was born in France. His blood type is AB. He is 178 centimeters. His hobby is parkour, and he says he's been doing it since he was a kid, and he can't stop. It makes him feel like he's transcended his limits. His favorite animal is a cheetah. The moment it starts hunting, the way its muscles move is incredible. It feels amazing to watch.
Broski's trying to copy Chigiri's aura. The fuck?
His favorite movie is Predator. The way it portrays a creature systematically killing humans is gripping. It feels good to watch.
Oh, is that a prediction to Predator's Eye?
Ooh, maybe.
Oh,
I would say no though. I think Loki's a freedom type player, and I don't think he'd get Predator Eye.
yeah.
Although, hold up. When we're talking about restriction, right?
Yeah.
It talks about having confined restraints and breaking free from them, right?
Yeah.
What happens about physical restraints? Like if Loki's like physically pressured to where he can't always run, would it make him a restrictive type ego to break free from those restrictions and then be able to still run despite them? Or is that just like him being a freedom type of player who excels in those, and by restricting him, it puts him in a situation where he can't do that? So
It would be freedom if he performs at his best, to allow himself to run freely on the pitch.
which I would assume is yes.
If his intent is to escape, that means he's freedom. If his intent is to stay restricted, that means he's restricted.
Got it. So he is freedom based then.
Yeah.
What makes him happy, he says, is trust, dominance, and words that carry weight. Also being seen as something other than the same human species. What makes him sad is sticking to outdated norms and valuing preconceived notions. Seems like
Based.
Loki, honestly.
Based wording.
One in the comments, his name is Julian Woki.
Julian Woki.
Julian Woki. His favorite food is, I don't know how to pronounce this. Jujic chocolate? I don't know. He likes chocolate marshmallows too. He says the way it melts in my mouth is the best feeling ever.
Chocolate?
Yay.
It's stew. I assume he just refers to hot chocolate.
Maybe. Well, he likes chocolate covered marshmallows. So his most disliked food though is wasabi chips. He tried them once out of curiosity and they were disgusting. If you eat that regularly, you're an idiot.
Baka.
But we also got Noel Noah's character profile expanded upon. He was born April 2nd and is 31 years old. He was also born in France, and his blood type is B. He is 184 centimeters. His hobbies are growing plants, and he says living surrounded by lots of greenery helps him maintain his inner balance. Honestly, I can kind of see that.
Chat is going livid right now.
Have you seen Dr. Stone?
I have.
Do you know when Taiju gets like that farmer hat and the overalls?
Yes.
I feel like I could see Noel Noah wearing that. Like unironically, I feel like it would fit his character.
Fair.
Am I wrong for that? Like he looks like he'd wear that.
No, he seems like a farmer boy.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's German nature. To be fair.
Well,
or
he's
not
French.
even.
He's French.
I know.
He grew up in the slums though, right?
Yeah, so he grew up in the slums of France.
So maybe he had a value in growing your own produce.
Yeah.
Oh. His favorite animal are actually humans. He says there is no other animal as intelligent, foolish, and interesting as them, including myself. His favorite movie is Silence of the Lambs. What makes him happy is admiration. No one can dictate how I live my life. Just watch. I'll show you everything football has to offer. That's kind of cool. What makes him sad, though, is people who eat noisily. It makes him question their intelligence and humanity. His favorite food, though,
you must really hate Ego.
No, it's funny. His favorite food is cup noodles. Especially the ones from his hometown. Honestly, Noel Noah could have introduced Ego to the life of cup noodles. And then got mad when he realizes Ego eats them so sloppily.
Bro, this is lore. We got lore.
We got some lore.
Because what hasn't been confirmed is so we know that they're rivals. What hasn't been confirmed is that are they teammates or actually like opposing teams?
I have the theory they were the old New Gen 11s.
Yeah,
I still believe that to this day.
I could say like they played in the same club, but of course faced off in different World Cup scenarios.
But here's the thing. I feel like if they did face off in the World Cup, it'd be more likely that people would remember Ego.
Yeah, or maybe like it's weird. I feel like the context of it rather was that they grew up playing football, and whilst Noel Noah went pro and became best in the world, Ego kind of fell
Yeah.
under,
But like,
realizing he couldn't keep up.
but wouldn't it make sense? Because like Tokimitsu's a huge football fan, so I feel like he would have known more about Ego, unless they were the old New Gen 11s, right? And
Yeah.
they were presented to be the next generation superstars, and then something happened to Ego to make him stop. And when he stops, your career is done. Like, you have no hope becoming a next generation. You're not going to be a next generation superstar. Or you're not going to hold that title if you quit or if you stop playing, which would allow him to sink into obscurity.
Mm.
Which is what I believe led to
Does.
the theory pulling true. And it would make sense if they were rival New Gen 11s, right? Because
Mm.
it would also kind of correlate to how Lorenzo, Agi, and Kaiser all kind of have some kind of relationship to each other. And it's as opposing club as on opposing clubs and stuff, but they're still knowledgeable about each other and they're still like connected. So I think it'd be cool if they are on opposing clubs, right? But they were the old New Generation 11 and they kind of had that rivalry of like, this is the only other person who I consider, even amongst these next generation superstars, to rival me in terms of skill.
Mm.
You know what else seems kind of weird that I've also realized? The New Generation 11 don't technically acknowledge themselves with that title.
Mm.
New Generation 11 are known to all of the world. No, kind of. They're kind of known. So like,
I mean, if we're pointing this out, right? I feel like New Gen 11 has only become a title as of like recently used for marketing purposes, whilst back then it was probably an in-term for footballers clubs. So now it's only becoming vocal, but back then it was a sort of in-term to describe up and coming stars.
yeah. Also, assuming this is back in like they're 30 now, this is 2018, so 10 12 years ago would have been like 2005 2006. Like, how big was like the internet back in 2005 2006? Like, YouTube just started in 2005.
As far as I'm aware, Smosh started their YouTube channel.
Yeah, but like the internet itself wasn't as like a very ingrained in society as it is now. So like, I'm sure the news like on newspapers was spread around New Gen 11, but assuming Ego stopped, like, there's not a lot of information you could get a lot outside of like newspapers. So like, assuming Ego stopped, who's gonna remember him in 12 years as someone who used to rival him when the internet wasn't big to spread that idea? Like, nowadays it's
Yeah,
huge, but like,
you could also say that Ego probably was pushed to the back by higher ups. We could imagine that Ray Dark may have had something to do with Ego's
maybe.
unawareness. But what we do know is that Anri knew who Ego was,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
Anri didn't know who Ego was. The JFA didn't.
Anri did. Anri is actually
Well,
the most.
honestly, it may not be that insane to think of because hear me out on this, right? Assuming the New Gen 11 theory pulls true, the internet wasn't a huge thing, so spreading news like this on the internet wasn't something that was going to be very likely, right? However, it probably gets sent or messaged in something through like newspapers, right?
Yeah.
Anri has been a football fan since she was a kid, right? Her dad, I'm pretty sure she mentioned like it was her family, like her dad got her into it and such. And she's been really devoted to Japan winning the World Cup. She's played herself and such. Probably when she was losing hope, she probably did her own research to try and find someone who could do this, where she found old news articles about Ego.
Yeah.
Which would explain why the current people don't know about him, because why are these like business guys gonna give a shit about some guy 13 years ago in a newspaper? They're not gonna do this kind of research. They're caring about the here and the now. They're not gonna care, which would explain why.
This is an Aero Theory Craft video, coming to you live on a Wednesday.
And hear me out. The Blue Lockers likely wouldn't know, because when Isagi was a kid, he was watching Noel Noah play professionally on the TV, meaning Ego likely had to have quit prior to then.
Yeah, so
he probably wouldn't have been on any TV.
If we do the age comparison, Anri is how old? 23?
23, yeah.
Yeah. Isagi is only recently turned 17 during the Blue Lock. So, yeah, that would mean, like, within that time span, of course, of 5 years, 5-6-ish years, Ego quit.
Or even before then, he could have quit, because like New Gen 11s range from anyone who is 16 to 19. So they're currently 30 and 31. So assuming Noel Noah was 17, Ego is 16. Like,
yeah,
it's still possible. And then like if that's the case, the Blue Lockers only would have been like 3 or 4, which would have been the same age as maybe like Isagi being like 5 or 6 or something, when we saw him in the backstory with like Isagi's mom and Bachira's mom when they're talking about him. He's about 5 or 6 years old, right? So
yeah,
he probably already would have quit, and Noah would have gone pro. So the timeline adds up to Ego quitting when the internet wasn't big, so the news probably wouldn't have been spread around, but it probably would have been in some newspapers, and they could be New Gen 11s based off the correlation and relationship between Kaiser and Lorenzo, and the kind of back and forth bits they've had, very mirroring Ego and Noel Noah. And
yeah,
Anri is someone who really, really wanted to like find a way for Japan to win. She probably did a lot of research into this, and likely found like the newspaper articles on this, and like, yo, this guy used to be Noel Noah's rival. What if he's the person who can change Japan's soccer? Something made him quit, which then we could find out what made him quit playing, and then what convinced Ego to come back and try and start this. It would explain why the Japanese representatives of the JFA don't know who he is, because they're not going to care about newspapers from 15 years ago. But Anri, she would. And I'm pretty sure in Anri's character profile, they mentioned like she was very into history. Let's see. I feel like I read this somewhere. Well, her favorite subjects are English and Japanese. I don't know if that means anything. It's like could just be in the language, but Japanese, isn't that like just like when you learn Japanese? I'm assuming you don't just learn the language. I'm assuming you learn maybe history. So
yeah.
I
mean, if you learned English, you would learn about the, where poetry would usually come from. So by proxy, you would learn history.
Yeah. She cried when Japan lost to Belgium in the 2018 World Cup. Like, she cared if she had encountered football, yada 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 yada. She cares a lot about history. Like right here, her favorite historical figure is Arsene Wenger. I don't know if that's pronounced it. Without him, Arsenal's golden era and Thierry Henry's brilliance would have been totally different. So she knows about the impacts of players.
It sounds like something you got to knuckle down on for a video.
Yeah.
It's a pure speculation video regarding the backstory of
Noah
Ego,
She started playing
and
football
Anri.
at age 10. What is this? Shooter Japan. What is this? Oh, the women's international football team. She got inspired by the women's team to start playing. So, but honestly, I feel like it's very likely that Anri did all this research. I think it could be interesting. That's just my theory on it. I definitely think I'm gonna make this a video. To be honest, I think I could definitely make this into a video. That could be something that could cook. Because my theory videos usually do really well. People seem to like them. But, anything else you want to talk about, Raven?
Nah.
No. All right.
Unless you wanted to reveal anything about the movie.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So about the movie. So I was asked a couple questions in relation to the movie on TikTok. So I'm gonna just answer. Like I'll tell you the question that he asked me, and then I will tell you what I told the guy in response. So he asked, are we gonna get copyright because of using the characters from the manga and anime? No. So, with the issue with copyright is it's very similar, like, to other fan animations and even fan art. Like, designing fan art and fan animated stuff, that technically is against copyright. Like, that can be opposed from copyright infringement. But it's a huge hassle to go through for big companies like this when they're not necessarily making anything out of it. And because our thing is because we're not monetizing, we're not getting anything of monetary gain that them suing would actually benefit. If anything, they would be losing money because of them investing time and paying for lawyers and getting this and the whole case to deal with the situation, which is no different than any other fan animator on YouTube or anything, right? Second question he asked, no need to say release date, but what are you aiming for? We're aiming for post season 3. We're having a couple issues when it came down to the writing. We've noticed a couple bits of mischaracterization that we wanted to check, and we wanted to go through and revise. So we're revising some stuff of moments we thought were a little bit mischaracterized. And we're not wanting to rush. We want to make sure that this is done very well. So when it releases, it's fitting for the characters and it looks visually beautiful. We wanted to make it look like you're watching this thing in like a theater, that you could watch this movie in a theater and get the same vibe. He also asked, for soundtrack, are we going to be using existing OSTs or are we going to be making new ones? So that is actually what could get us in trouble with like copyright, is because we can't use original OSTs without permission from the original bands and the original producers of the song. So we're not going to be doing that. So we're not going to be using original ones. We're actually hiring some music producers ourselves to create soundtracks for us. We're also, I'm looking into paying this one guy. His name is Romy, I think. Romy, Romi, on YouTube. He makes a lot of Japanese, he sings a lot of Japanese soundtracks and songs for anime openings. So I'm going to commission him to make an anime opening and hopefully an ending for us, a custom one for the movie. That way we can, have some awesome stuff for it. In case we want to make it a series, like a Blue Lock New World series, as opposed to just a long movie, just depending on how long it would be. And then he also asks, animation. Will there be anything crazy like impact frames? Yes. So our animation director and a couple of our key animators are really, really, really fucking ambitious, and they have some really good ideas when it comes to like the design for shots, like the Kaiser. You're gonna see so many Kaiser impacts. So I know for a fact they're gonna want to do some impact framing on that. But the animation, we're hoping to limit the amount of PNGing as possible. Probably the only time you'd ever see some PNG is when there's not much of value. So if they're just like standing there talking, you don't really need insane animation for that. So they'll probably cook with something like that. I trust they'll cook on the movie. As for who the guy is at the end of the question, I'm gonna let Raven handle that.
Oh, what's that?
Who's the guy at the end of the trailer? We're wondering.
It's Rin with a long hat. No, it's my OC character. Arrow asked for the usage of my OC character in terms of like simple and easy needs to be put into the movie. I of course said yes because the opportunity to have my character represented in the movie is awesome. Just so you're aware, this Raven's different to the Raven of how I would write him. So this is a different context Raven character. So it's less of my OC. Well, its core design is more my OC, of course, but it's less of my OC's personality and more so the movie's characterization of how he would be under this context. So he's practically just a separate character from how I present him.
Yeah, but we're running the script through Raven, so if he thinks he doesn't want to present his character in that way, we're not going to. We want to make sure that he's content with how the character's being represented.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, the movie is gonna cook. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. This is so ambitious, and I didn't think this would be possible, but it's gonna be something interesting. Is the OC better than Lorenzo? Can we reveal their stats, like the stat number? Because I know you made a stat sheet.
Okay. How about we reveal one stat? Chat. You have one chance.
The overall stat. I meant like the overall.
Oh,
stat
the overall
number.
stat. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the overall stat number is equal to that of Lorenzo. That's all I'm really gonna tell you. I'll let you do the rest yourself. But yeah, the overall stat number of Raven's character in the movie is equal to that of Lorenzo in terms of overall stats. Of course, he's gonna excel in his own areas, different than Lorenzo, but just the overall number is equal to that. So it is. I think it is less than Kaiser, but again, the stats are very much based on where their strengths lie in. So it's not gonna be just an overwhelming destruction. It's gonna be you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy the movie. Yeah. You want to just call stream here? We've been going for almost 2 hours.
Chat. This is your final chance for one more question. One more question.
They said, "What do you think? What do you think about the next arc?"
Next arc stats.
No, not next arc stats. No, just next arc. The next arc.
Sorry, I'm loading into the stream to read chat as well. Well, next arc I feel has to be a training arc, like a mini arc.
I'm very.
Do you think Adam Blake will go to Bastard Munich, seen as he's based off Harry Kane and Joyce Byron?
No, I don't think we're gonna ever see him again.
I think the World 5, aside from Luna and Loki, of course, are one-offs.
I think maybe Pablo, sadly. Because I feel like we're gonna get
Pablo's
Argentina.
More. So Pablo's more in relation. I already said like I would vision BLUELOCK going up against Argentina during the U20 World Cup. Of course, yet to be seen. Of course, how that would translate over to the actual World Cup, because of course Pablo is of course over the age of 20.
Yeah.
But Argentina, I feel like is going to be a threat.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I appreciate you all for tuning into the stream. I want to just leave a quick reminder to you guys that tomorrow we're doing another stream. I think it's just gonna be me. I don't know if Raven's gonna join, but I think it'll just be me. I want you guys to go to... Yeah. So
I mean, you got to think we're making characters relative to the stats of the current New Gen 11 players. Yeah. So it seems accurate, to be fair.
Yeah. Also, I'm doing a stream tomorrow where I'm going to be reacting to you guys' BLUELOCK's video suggestions. So you guys are going to send me videos, and we're going to just be reacting to them, giving you my thoughts on what I think the creator is saying and their thoughts on the topic. If you guys want to request your own videos, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link my TikTok to, over to, this stream, and you guys can
Words.
send me your guys' suggestions of what you want to react to for tomorrow's stream. So here's my TikTok.
Here's to grinding.
So message is pinned. Go to my TikTok there. Follow me if you haven't, because I'd appreciate a follow there. Goal is trying to get to 80K before next year on TikTok, because then it makes me eligible to get free tickets for conventions, which is nice.
If you hit 100K, that'll be big.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to like conventions, they want you to have like 80K on TikTok, 10K on YouTube. I get like 5,000 on Twitter and other 5,000 on Instagram and such.
I feel like your eligibility on YouTube and TikTok should be enough.
Yeah, but I'm only at 40K on TikTok. I need to get to 80K. So
damn, you got double.
Yeah,
guys, follow him. We got to hit the double mark.
But send me your guys' videos, like the link to the video. It could be TikTok or YouTube that you want me to react to, and we're gonna do a whole stream reacting to these people's takes on tomorrow. And then if you guys do like those kinds of streams, I'll edit them down into actual videos for you guys to watch. And yeah, because it'd save me time for editing. You get more content. But yeah, I thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. I appreciate it. We're hitting like, before we used to hit maybe like 15 to 25 viewers. We're hitting like 40, like 35 to 40, like average. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning into these streams. It means a lot. Raven, you have anything else you want to say?
Be sure to rewatch the new New World movie trailer, even if you've already watched it.
Yeah.
Feel free to go through and analyze, or just watch it for the fun of it.
Actually, no. Go watch Raven's newest video where he does his tier list. It was a very good video, and as someone who doesn't like those kinds of videos, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was
because you like hearing my opinions.
I do, and if you like hearing more of his opinions, you should watch it too, because it's like 45 minutes. You should totally do it.
It's 45 minutes of content. You can put it on in the background as you're doing some strip mining in Minecraft.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow around. Ooh, when do I want to do this? Maybe 2 o'clock in the EST. 2 hours later than I started today. So maybe 24 hours from like right now is when I might go live. But I will let you guys know. So
don't worry, guys. Raven will pay you a visit this Saturday.
Yeah, he will. All right. See